Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, guys, we have one hell of an exciting day of football ahead of us today. I want to welcome in my host. I'm Lucian Graves of the Final Whistle Network. This is the Saturday AM Scramble with my two co-hosts, Mike. My bad.
How's it
and
going?
Eric up north. How you guys doing?
Doing
Doing
good,
great.
man.
I'm feeling elite today, gentlemen. Elite.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to you on that. But before we get into the fireworks that happened last night, because there were fireworks already, ladies and gentlemen, let's quickly go back to last week. What were your thoughts, takeaways from last weekend's games?
And which one?
Any all of them. Just to take away from last weekend.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just say, I mean, from our end, our coaching staff needs to get their together, but yeah, I mean, it was fun last week.
My takeaway is that what Curt Cignetti is doing at Indiana is something we have never seen in our entire lives. Indiana is the losingest program in Big Ten history. And Curt Cignetti has them undefeated, ranked 3 in the nation. They will go into Autzen, and despite throwing a fourth quarter pick 6, still get the victory. I mean, I said when I ranked Big Ten coaches last summer, I said Curt Cignetti was number 1 over even Ryan Day. And people acted like I was crazy. And I was like, if you look at his track record, he wins every year, everywhere he's ever been. And now Indiana is poised. They're going to be decided favorites in their next 6 games. They're going to go undefeated. We're going to have 12-0 Indiana playing for a Big Ten title game and getting into the playoff again. And that's bananas. So that's my biggest takeaway from last week. And then from the Big Ten's perspective, I would say, Ohio State is just an unstoppable machine right now. I mean, there's no getting in their way, it feels like. And Illinois did their best, and that game was not even as close as the score indicated at 34-16. So I was really impressed with the Buckeyes last week as well.
Eric?
Yeah, I mean, what Indiana did last week at Oregon, it was impressive. But I mean, I don't know. Call me a hater if you want. I just don't believe that what Cignetti's doing is. I don't think he's that great of a coach.
Seriously?
I think he's a great scout and talent developer, or
Okay.
not talent developer, a talent scout. I think he's found a really nice niche. I don't think that, for example, I don't think if he were to go to a team like Michigan, Alabama, Penn State, I don't think he's doing the same thing. He's not playing in the same arena. He's great at uncovering these under recruited players that have shown production on the field, and he's good at coaching them up. But he's playing in the arena of transfers such as Roman Hemby, who I like, Tyler Morris, Fernando Mendoza. He's not playing in the realm of the Zachariah Branches, the John Mateers, and he wouldn't be able to do what he's doing in that arena. I think he's perfect for Indiana. I think he's good at what he's doing there, but I don't think he's one of the elite coaches in the country.
I think you're bananas, man. I think he is as good as it gets. I don't think what they do is schematically that complicated, but evaluating talent is the best skill you can have as a coach. And Nick Saban could do it. And Curt Cignetti, remember, was Nick Saban's recruiting coordinator when he built his dynasty at Alabama. So, Cignetti learned from the best in Saban. And he's, I think is on that level, that kind of level of talent evaluator.
In talent evaluation, absolutely. As a head coach, no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised sometimes at Indiana. They get away with being a lot less complex schematically than you'd think they would have to be to win as much as they are.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I think
you run really a lot of RPO still. They still run a lot of RPO, which is harder and harder to do these days.
I wouldn't put him in the top tier of elite coaches for on the field coaching. I wouldn't put him in the top tier of elite coaches for high school recruiting. I wouldn't put him in top tier of elite coaches for. I mean, he's a good coach on the field. He's a great talent evaluator. He's a scout, like what he did for Saban. But that doesn't make you a great head coach. I think he's
good at wait, if
what
they
he's
go,
doing,
hold
and
on.
I think he's very good for what Indiana is. I don't think that they compete in the same arenas as the major schools and the major coaches.
But they just beat Oregon.
Yeah, I mean,
They
it's
just
college
rolled
football.
into Autzen and beat Oregon.
It's college football. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and you can have stuff like that happen. It doesn't mean you're at one of the top coaches.
I guess, man, if he makes the playoff for a second consecutive year at the losingest school in Big Ten history, I think he's a great coach. But that's just me.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm
Right.
saying I don't put him in the that tier of elite college football coaches.
Yeah, we will have to agree to disagree on that one.
That's fine.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm not the odd one out here. So I agree, and I agree with both of you. I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
He hasn't necessarily been tested on a level. I know Oregon's a great program, but I think it needs to be a little bit more. If he goes, okay, I'll say this: if he goes through the playoff and just destroys some like good teams, like some top ranked teams, then I will definitely give him his flowers because I'm a big fan of that guy. I mean, as he said, he came from Saban. He's got some fire under him, and I love that as a coach. And yeah, so with that being said, let us get into the fireworks that happened last evening. The first game we'll go through really quick, because as you can see, the guy on the bottom's chomping at the bit to get started. So the first game, this massive upset, which I didn't really think it was that massive of an upset. Louisville went into Miami and beat them. And this score looks a lot closer than what the game truly was. I know obviously it was a close game, but the fact that Louisville only gave up one sack to a Miami defensive line who people are saying is the top notch in a long time is just absolutely outstanding. I was amazed by that. Reuben Bain not getting a sack at all. I mean, that was Louisville came to ball. Louisville came to ball last night. Fellas, what you think?
I mean, Miami's defensive line has been so praised and so effective that for Louisville to come out with Miller Moss, who's not a mobile quarterback, and execute the way they did, to get that victory and to get a lead and to hold on to it and to withstand the comeback from Miami. I mean, there's a reason I call him Big Game Jeff Brom. Big Game Brom. He is one of the best coaches in the country. He knows how to knock off top 5 teams. He's been doing it since he was at Purdue. I remember when he beat Ohio State when they had Rondale Moore. I'll never forget it. And here he is, beats a team, a Miami team that everyone thought was going undefeated once they got past Florida State. And you got to give it up. You got to get up to Brom. And you know what? He could make the ACC title game still.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Them stoning Carson Beck for only 270 yards, picking him off 4 times.
4 times.
Miami now drops to 1-1 in the conference. They're out of the hunt now. Louisville's right up in there for the lead in the ACC championship right now.
Yeah,
which is that's something. Friday Night Lights. Eric, what you got on this one, quick?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I'm not able to truly contribute a lot here. I was live on a podcast for the vast majority of the game last night, so I was only really able to watch the box score. But talking about it on like live as it was going on with the people that were watching it, it was surprising for me, man, because as I had said last week, I thought that Miami had a good argument to be in the conversation for number 1 in the country, and based on the resume to that point. And I was not expecting it at all last night, but I didn't get to watch any but the beginning of the game because I was on live with the podcast last night.
Awesome. Well, again, congratulations to the Cardinals for knocking off number 2 Hurricanes and really exposed them last night, especially going in there to Miami's house. That's impressive. Now, without further ado, we'll get to the fireworks that happen. Before he goes off, I want to give props to 2 people. Drake Lindsay, the quarterback, he's going to be something in the future. And Darius Taylor lived up to the hype. He was impressive. Now, my man Mike, you have the floor.
The Minnesota Golden Gophers defeated the Nebraska Cornhuskers 24-6 last night, and it wasn't that close. It wasn't even as close as that felt. It was domination. It was only 7-6 at half, but there was no question even then who the more physical team was and who was winning the battle in the trenches and who was winning the battle of explosive plays. And, everyone's talking about Nebraska, talking them up coming into this week, saying they're college football playoff contenders. They're going to roll over Minnesota, blah, blah, blah. Well, they came into our house, and from the jump, the defense played lights out. And Minnesota was down its top 2 cornerbacks last night in John Nestor and Mike Gerald. So, and this Nebraska offense had been scoring like 38 points a game or something in Big Ten play going into this game, had been scoring 30-something points a game. So for Minnesota to come out, hold them to 2 first-half field goals, and that was it. Shut the door. Outscored them 17-0 in the second half. I mean, and my man, we had Minnesota sacked Nebraska a school record 9 times. 9 times Dylan Raiola got sacked. And 8 of those came from defensive linemen. So there was only 1 sack from a blitzing linebacker, and otherwise it was just winning up front, reestablishing the line of scrimmage on their side of the ball, snap in, snap out for 4 quarters, but especially in the second half. The Gophers really hit their stride in the second half. And the turning point in the game was Nebraska got to about midfield early in the third quarter, and then they punted, and they downed it at the 2. And you're thinking, oh, Nebraska's going to get a stop. They're going to get the ball back at midfield. They're going to have a chance to go score. No. Minnesota goes on a 98-yard, over 8-minute long touchdown drive to go up 14-6. And I'm telling you, and when we scored that go-ahead touch or that touchdown to go up 8 points, the crowd just erupted, and it was pandemonium. And I knew then that we were going to win because there was nothing their offense had done to that point to stress the Gophers. I mean, their receivers weren't getting open. They were losing at the line of scrimmage. And gentlemen, I think it's time to talk about Dylan Raiola. And he is not a 5-star quarterback.
No,
he is not. He's good at throwing checkdowns and screen passes. And as you can hear, I lost my voice a little bit from last night. You'll have to bear with me there. He's good at hitting short passes, but he cannot throw the ball downfield effectively. He can't do it.
Yeah, that was something I was going to mention about the Nebraska that I was going to hit on. He definitely did not live up to the hype of being Patrick Mahomes-esque. I mean, yeah, did he make a nice left-handed pass? Did he make a sweet little play? But Patrick Mahomes don't miss dime passes, and he did not hit downfield passes. I thought a lot of his times he was inaccurate. He definitely held the ball too long. Yes, is his offensive line bad? Were they getting abused? Of course. But that still is not an excuse for not throwing the ball away.
I mean, 9 sacks. 9 sacks.
And yeah, some of those he did get nailed in some short time. And I'm not taking anything away from your guys' defense. You guys played outstanding. But some of those, I'd say at least 2 of those, he was just dinking and donking, and he dinked one time, and then he got dunked. And I'm like, well, you know what? I thought, coming into this game, he was going to actually, come in and put on a show as everyone was, hyping him up. And
especially with our corners out. with John Nestor
Right.
out.
When you
I
hit me
thought
with
for
that, I
sure
was
we were
like,
going to be in trouble.
I was like, okay, then he has to expose them. I mean, he's got good receivers. It's not the receivers. The
Right.
receivers was open. He just overthrew them by 15 yards a couple of times. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it's the way she goes in sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I love the aggression that the Gophers played with last night. I mean, you could just see, I saw, like, I checked Twitter later, and like I saw a bunch of national pundits, like Tom Fornelli was like, this Gopher defense hits. They will hit you.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, this is the best they've tackled in space all year.
Who was the one corner that kept coming up and sticking that one little bubble pass that they kept trying to do because they were disguising that coverage? They kept that outside corner. He just kept coming up and laying that one dude out. It's like,
oh, Jayonte McMillan.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. He was supposed to be like a slot cornerback, but we've had to play him on the outside the last couple of games, and he's been really, really effective. And yeah, that's the thing. I think Minnesota knew that if they stopped the run game and made Nebraska one-dimensional, they had a chance to really succeed. And Nebraska ended up with 36 rushing yards for the game on 29 carries.
Now, that I will say that running back for Nebraska, he was impressing at some points in the game.
Yeah.
He was hard to get on the ground, but
good player.
Mean, obviously taking 9 sacks that's going to put a dent in anything that you do on the ground. So
it was a big
win.
On
the win.
Thank you. The fan base needed it. You know, Minnesota's in a good position going forward, so I was really excited. Just really excited for where we go from here. We got Iowa next week. That'll be a good one. So yeah, gentlemen, it was a lot of fun being at that game last night.
I'm glad you had a good time, brother, man. All right, moving forward to today's matchups. Starting at high noon, we got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who look, as of right now, at the top of the ACC with the loss that Miami took last night. Going into Duke, spread is a 2.5-point favorite to Duke, total at 60.5. Fellas, talk to me. What you got on this game?
I think Georgia Tech's run game is going to be too much for Duke. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Haynes King. I think I think the spread is wrong. I think that Georgia Tech is going to win a relatively close game, but they're going to be in pretty firm control. I'd say like 23-19, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm shocked Duke is favored here. Like, they're playing good defense with Manny Diaz, and they're a good team. You know, they showed that they can do some things, and you know that looking back, you know, the Illinois loss, that's not a bad loss at all. So Duke is a good squad. They can make some things happen, especially defensively. But I'm with you. This Georgia Tech running game is just incredible. And it doesn't matter if it's Haynes King or if it's the running back, Hosley or Haynes. Either one of them are just, you know, breaking off large run after large run. And I just like the way Haynes King plays, man. He will do anything for a win. He will lower his shoulder into a linebacker if he needs a couple yards, you know. And quarterbacks who play like that are easy to rally around. And I think he's a good guy who elevates his teammates and gets them all really excited. I like the Ramblin' Wreck this year. I know they had a close call against Wake a couple weeks ago, but I do like the Wreck here. So I think Georgia Tech takes it. I think it'll be a good game, but you know, something like 31-24, something like that.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you guys on this one, and I'm going to take Duke. And I'm going with this Duke defense. I kind of watched a little bit of them, and I think that this is going to pose an interesting threat for Georgia Tech's running game, the way they run the ball and how Duke runs their defense. I think Duke has a lot of playmakers on that defense, and I think they're going to be able to neutralize what Georgia Tech likes to do. I think that Tech not being effective passing the football is eventually going to be their Achilles heel in the season. I think that really gets exposed today. And I got Duke pulling off the upset in this one, fellas.
Well, I mean, it's not an upset. They're favored.
Right.
Well, yeah, but as far as the rankings go, it'll be
Right.
an upset. It'll be an upset that way. But yeah, I got Duke in this one.
If let's say you're right and Duke has let's just say call it a statement win over the 12th ranked team in the country, is that an audition for Manny Diaz to try to go back to Penn State?
Ooh.
I think you might have discovered my point.
Here's the thing though. Penn State's biggest complaint with James Franklin is that he doesn't score enough points, or he didn't score enough points. Are they really going to hire a defensive head coach when their biggest gripe is that they don't score enough points? That would surprise me a little bit if they went with a guy who's from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, everything that I recall is that Manny Diaz was looked at as, I mean, pretty favorably by everybody at the university,
Right.
and he was one of the guys that they hated seeing leave.
Sure.
So I think he's definitely somebody they would welcome back. I don't think I don't think he's necessarily the guy for the job, but I think if he gets a statement win today, I think they might take another long look at him.
Oh yeah, they have to. I mean, Penn State's talking to everybody. They might as well talk to him and, take his temperature and see where he's at. Because yeah, he's doing really impressive stuff at Duke, no question.
Okay, so moving right along, Oklahoma goes into South Carolina. Oklahoma is a 4.5-point favorite. Eric, what you got on this one?
Quick question. Are Mateer and Sellers both out for this game? Are they playing? What's the word on that?
I think Mateer's playing.
Yes.
I don't know about Sellers.
I have not heard that nobody is not playing yet. Everyone, what the last report I saw was probable.
So okay, obviously, if Mateer's able to play at the level that he was pre-injury, I think there's no way that Oklahoma doesn't win this game. I said this last week when we talked about the Oklahoma-Texas game, that I thought it was a big red flag that they thought they needed to bring Mateer back early from injury before he was ready, and that he was not going to be able to be an effective quarterback with his injured hand. And I think that played itself out last week. I'm not convinced that if he plays that his hand is healthy enough and that we're going to continue to see the accuracy issues that he had last week. And the fact, again, that they did that last week, I think that it really, they kind of put themselves into a corner here, because if his hand is that injured that he can't be accurate, they rushed him back for last week's game. So if they don't play him today, then it's like, well, why did you push him out onto the field last week?
Yep.
And if they and if they bring in Michael Hawkins, I mean, you showed us what you thought of Michael Hawkins last week. So I feel like Oklahoma's kind of put themselves into a corner. And in my opinion, I think Oklahoma's entire strength is John Mateer. I do also have problems with how South Carolina's not. I don't get it. I mean, I know Lenore Sellers has had injury issues this year, but there's so much talent on that team, and it's not showing up. Like Nick Harbor, it's like I've said this whole time, I think he's incredibly talented. I don't think he's fully invested in being a football player. He's a track guy. He's an an aspiring Olympian. He's not. I don't think his head is in football. Dylan Stewart, inconsistent. But that said, my problems with South Carolina, I feel like, are things that can be coached up, and could just click on any given week. Oklahoma's problem is, I think John Mateer is their entire team right now. I mean, you've got a great head coach with a defensive game plan, but without Mateer, they're fangless. So yeah. I think I have to say that I'm favoring South Carolina in this, just because I think their problems are the ones that are more easily fixable this week.
I don't understand why they didn't play the backup. He played last year, and he was definitely played good for what little they had.
Yeah,
because remember, they had all their top 6 receivers were all hurt. Yep. So he was dealing with a backup offensive line. So what he was able to do last season with little to nothing, at least gave me the confidence that either way, that's why I said last week, either Mateer plays or the other dude plays. It doesn't matter to me. Oklahoma has a good enough team. Well, putting a hurt quarterback out there is absolutely insane.
That's what I was saying last week. I was confident in Michael Hawkins until they showed me a reason that I shouldn't be.
And I'm confused. Like it, I don't know. I'm not in that fan base chat, and I'm kind of curious about it because that's just a move to me that it's like, well, you don't have confidence in your backup, and they have weapons enough around him to where he didn't have to be amazing. He could have just been serviceable. So the fact of putting a non-serviceable quarterback out there that can't even complete a 5-yard hitch in the Red River shootout is just, I mean, that's just bad coaching to me.
I mean, if they got last year's Michael Hawkins with the better team around him than what he had last year, I don't think that he does. I think he plays a better game last week than Mateer. And what gives me pause is what did they see in practice that made them think otherwise?
Or are we thinking about this as they just wanted to get Mateer back at all costs, and they gave Mateer the reps that Hawkins should have got, and Hawkins wasn't prepared because they rushed Mateer back?
If that's the case, you're telling me they didn't see the accuracy issues all week in practice that we saw on the field?
And that's the thing, like that's all a question for the coaching staff. Like those 3 questions that we just talked about right there are like kind of very, very deep cutting questions, because I don't think that they don't want to answer them. Right. To be honest with you.
What do you got, Mike?
But yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm definitely taking South Carolina just because, especially if Mateer plays, South Carolina has the weapons on defense to absolutely blow this apart. Especially playing at home, they don't have to worry about road noise. There's something a little mystical about a noon game in South Carolina. The way that them ovens and stuff get going, it could be an interesting afternoon for the Sooners. So I'm going definitely the Gamecocks here. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I like this Oklahoma team. I like this Brant Venables defense a lot. I do, I understand the Mateer thing is hard. I think that, because he could be his hand could be significantly better this week than it was last week. We don't know. So that said, could be, but we don't know. And I think because of that, I think I'm with you guys, and I'm going to pick South Carolina. Beamer really needs a win anyway here at 3-3. This is a home game for them. It's a circle the wagons, get right game. So yeah, I think South Carolina pulls off the upset.
Hey, before we go to the next game, Lucian, I need your opinion on this. Is this them being like, is this them throwing shade subtly or not? So On3 just posted a quote from Nick Saban's wife about Nick Saban taking the Penn State job.
Was it On3 or is it a fake On3?
No, this is On3.
Really?
Yeah, On3 Sports, at On3 Sports. Her quote is, "I have no doubt if Nick wanted to go back to coaching, he could have his 8th national championship. But we're having too much fun, and we wouldn't want to take that opportunity away from all of our baby coaches like Kirby and Lane."
That's funny.
So what are you saying? What are you asking?
Is she being genuine, or is that her like taking a chance to throw a shot at Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart?
Oh no, that's her definitely taking a shot at Lane Kiffin, and possibly even probably the most subtle jab of all might have been against Sark not being in that conversation anymore. because Sark was under Saban too, so that was probably a subtle jab at possibly Lanning too. I mean, there's a lot of coaches that were on that that specific coaching staff in 2015. So she's definitely taking a jab. I mean, I see her on ESPN eating all the food that they got at all the different game day places. Now they're having too much fun. He doesn't want that type of stress.
Just the fact that she called them baby coaches and then said Lane and Kirby like they're up for the job.
Well, I mean, they would be the successors in the kingdom's eyes. It's like, okay, he was the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. Ideally, those would be the first two up, but then you have Lanning come up and a couple other ones rise up from the dust too. But Kirby and Lane would definitely be the favorites, sir, I would say. But moving right along with our 3:30 game, Texas A&M, 6-0, fourth-ranked team in the nation, going into Arkansas. This is an interesting one right here. Mike, thoughts?
I mean, Arkansas, you kind of thought they were left for dead after what happened against Notre Dame, but they sort of have gotten more competitive, I feel like, even with Pittman gone. And, this is a home game for them. Petrino desperately wants to be the head coach again and would do absolutely anything to win a few games and get some momentum and have a chance for that to happen. But I don't know. A&M's rolling right now. That defense is great. Marcel Reed looks really good. I don't think, I think this will be interesting. I don't think it's going to be a total blowout or anything, but I think eventually A&M's talent and depth is too much for the Razorbacks and that they pull away. So I think something like 34-17.
Yeah, I mean, I like Petrino. I kind of really like Arkansas's offense. I just don't think their defense is going to be able to really put up enough of a fight to stop Texas A&M's offense. I think they've got too much firepower on their offense. I still think that the score will be closer than what the game will look like if you to the eye test. I think it'll be like 31-24 A&M.
Okay, I think this is not a good matchup as far as Arkansas goes because they do have one of the top rated offenses as far as yards per game at over 500, but they're going against a Texas A&M defense that is just stingy, and I mean they're nation's fifth best in sacks at 21, and they're just not allowing people to convert on third down. And nation leading 20.8% people are converting against them on third down. And if Arkansas is not able to stay on the field, their offense is not going to be able to put up any points. So I actually have this a little bit further. I have it at about 38-24. Texas A&M. Okay, let me see. Texas. All right. Next up, Texas Tech, number 7, coming in undefeated, going up against Arizona State. That's 4-2. Fellas, what you got?
I want to know if Sam Levitt's playing, but I don't. And I just think Texas Tech is so good on the lines of scrimmage. You saw that when they played Utah. And I think that the way they dominate up front is just going to be too much for Arizona State. And especially if they don't have Sam Levitt, then I think it's really going to be too much. But I assume he's playing because the spread's only a touchdown. So maybe he's playing. But
according to a quick Google search, the last update is that he's expected to play.
Okay, so he's expected to play. So I think that gives Arizona State a chance if they get out to an early lead. But I like this Texas Tech defensive line a lot. And I think that's the difference in this game, them controlling the line of scrimmage a little bit.
Yeah, and that was reported by Fox Sports that he's expected to play.
Nice. Well, that makes it a significantly more interesting game.
He got moved from questionable to probable.
Right on.
Yeah, I think even with Sam Levitt, because even if he plays, he's not going to be at full strength. I think that Texas Tech's going to keep rolling. I think that they're the clear favorite to win the Big 12, and I don't think Arizona's stopping them, or Arizona State, excuse me, is stopping them. Score. Let me look at my notes here. Okay, so I have this down as a 24-20 win. No, excuse me. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Hold on. I apparently didn't write a score for this one.
We'll go off the top.
Yeah, so if Levitt's playing, I'll say 27-21. If he's not playing, I don't think they're scoring more than 17. So
I have this a little bit different. I think Texas Tech is going to come in here and put another statement on the road today. They have one of the best defenses overall in the nation. Top 5 in sacks, first in rushing defense. I think that alone is going to make Arizona State's afternoon very, very tough. I don't think they're going to be able to score the ball much. I think Texas Tech wins comfortably by 2 scores.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's like 34-20 or 31-16 or whatever.
If Levitt plays or if he doesn't?
If he plays.
Okay.
If he doesn't play, I think Texas Tech rolls.
All right, fellas, moving right along. We got the number 21 ranked Longhorns coming off the Red River rivalry shootout last weekend versus Kentucky team that is 2-3. What do you guys got?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that it warranted putting them back in the top 25, beating that Oklahoma team with Mateer that couldn't complete a pass?
Personally, no. But
yeah, I didn't either, but I felt like I was like the only one that thought that.
If they were definitely not up to 21, I mean, I would have ranked them at best 25th for that. But
right.
I mean, statistically, yeah, they probably would be right there. But to me, no. They'd be like 20, 25, 26 to me.
I think I have to still take Texas, even though I don't think they're a great team this year. I just think that Kentucky, it's not really shown me much. They lost too much this last offseason, and I just haven't seen enough from them to think that they can win against even a middling SEC team this year.
Yeah, Kentucky's leading receiver has 174 yards on the year.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's bad. It's week 8. So that's really rough. I'm with you. I don't think they're world beaters or anything, but I think they're good enough to cover this spread and, put it on Kentucky a little bit. We'll see if this is a game where Arch Manning can take a step and continue to maybe be a little better than he was early in the season.
But on the flip side, Kentucky still does have athletes on the defensive side of the ball. So if Arch Manning isn't about his business and turns the ball over early, Texas could potentially find themselves. This could be a very dry game.
But you could say the same thing about Texas, that they have on paper great athletes on defense as well.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm not saying Kentucky's going to score at all. What I'm saying is that's why I'm saying it could be a very boring game if Arch isn't about his business. Yeah. If he turns the ball over, I'm not saying Kentucky's going to score serious points at any factor. I'm saying this is going to be a very low-scoring game.
So you're saying run far away from the over?
I mean, to me, yes.
No, I'm with you. I don't think they're getting 43.5 total. I mean, I think best case scenario, it's like a 27-10 win.
That's exactly what I
Texas.
was. That's around what I was thinking because I think if Kentucky gets a touchdown, it's going to be either a defensive or a special teams touchdown, and they might get in field goal range once on that Texas defense. And on the flip side, if Arch just isn't having a good day and they can't run the ball on that Kentucky defensive line, yeah, this could be a very slow
I think
game.
Kentucky's ceiling for scoring this game is 9 to 13 points. I think that Texas is probably like 17 to 27 for their ceiling. So I just don't see them going over.
No. Mike, what do you think?
I think Kentucky is going the wrong direction in general, and they just don't have the offensive players to stress you. So I think Texas wins this comfortably.
Do you guys think that Stoops makes it through this weekend?
Isn't his buyout like $1 bajillion though?
Yeah, but we just saw with Penn State that doesn't matter as much
Kentucky,
as we thought it did.
Yeah, but Kentucky's not Penn State.
But they're an SEC school.
No, you're right, but they're a basketball school.
Well, here's the thing. It's not like they're going to win any game coming this season. I mean, after Texas, they got Tennessee, then they got Auburn, Florida. Okay, they got Tennessee Tech, so that's one. Then they got Vanderbilt and Louisville. So, Kentucky is not looking good for.
I mean, you got to give them that. You got to at least count them a win for the late November cupcake, the SEC stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Tennessee Tech. But all the other ones, I wouldn't say they're going to be favored in.
No.
So do you just keep Stoops there for like at least through the season because any coach is going to be kind of a lame duck for the rest of the season,
or do they get a head start in recruiting and try to can his ass now, hire someone in there to try to
bring James Franklin back to the SEC midseason?
Yeah, James Franklin can do better than Kentucky.
Oh my God! Hey, imagine the narrative. Imagine the narrative from Nittany Lion to Wildcat. Oh my gosh!
I know it's like sidetracking a little bit, but I'm hearing. Have you guys heard any of the smoke around James Franklin to Florida?
I heard. No. Interesting. I was wondering if James Franklin could end up at Florida State.
Who do you think's more likely to get fired, Napier or mind blanking?
Norvell.
Norvell, thank you.
Yes, my answer is yes. They're both getting fired. They are both getting fired.
Okay, if you're James Franklin and you're offered both of those jobs, which one are you taking?
Florida State. No, not thinking twice. Florida State is a better job than Florida. It's an easier conference. They have better buy-in from the athletic administration, and Florida. There's a reason why nobody's been able to do it since Urban Meyer at Florida.
All right, moving right on to the Missouri, 16th ranked Missouri coming into 3-3 Auburn. Mizzou is a 1.5 favorite. Eric, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so listen, I could give my thoughts, but I want to know your thoughts, Lucian, because you guys just played Mizzou, and we know how you feel about Auburn. What are you thinking on this?
Well, honestly, I think it's a strength-on-strength game. Auburn is very, very good against the run, and as I said last week going into the game, that Missouri boasts one of the best running attacks in the nation, and that didn't change from last weekend. We just were able to stump their running game. I don't think that Auburn has our defensive structure. They run a different scheme. I think the Missouri Tigers are actually going to go in there and be able to handle business. They have a better secondary than people are going to give them credit for, and we all know that Hugh Freeze does not even know who's going to be at quarterback throughout the game. So I think Mizzou actually wins this a little bit higher than the spread. I have Mizzou winning it. Them bouncing back from last weekend, 28 to Auburn 17.
Yeah, I'm torn on this because I don't disagree with anything that you said. I also think that as much as I've given praise,
go ahead. I forgot to mention. Allow me to defend why I say this.
Okay.
Earlier last weekend, or after the game last weekend, one of the team captains, Hugh Freeze, dismissed, and he was a player-elected team captain.
Ooh.
And a lot of the players profess their disdain for that decision. So the Auburn locker room, the
You think you've
chat,
lost them?
the fan base is in an uproar, and I don't think that's going to manifest into them beating Missouri. I think that's going to, because that'll just make Hugh Freeze look good, and I don't think that's what any of these players are feeling like, because the statements that I was reading from some of these guys is like, yeah, we elected this guy to be a team captain. I'm like, Hugh Freeze dismissed a team captain because he stood up to him and said that he didn't like the direction of the way the program was going. So that's why I think Missouri, especially the way that team was coached last weekend, Drink is going to have them motivated to go in there and handle business, whereas Auburn's going to have their emotions up into what the hell Hugh Freeze is going to do, who he's going to kick off the team today, who's even going to be playing football for them, for that matter. I just think Auburn's got a lot going on, and Drinkowitz has his team more focused on the main thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
go ahead in there.
No, you're good. Like, I agree with everything you're saying, and that's what I was gonna say. I'm torn on this because on paper, I feel like I would slightly, I mean, but by a field goal or less, slightly favor Auburn, just because of Missouri's. Like, I just feel like they've been just bad turnovers in the worst moments. Like, as much praise as I've given Bo Prabula going to Mizzou, I think he's played way above what we expected. It's just like it's like every time they have a turnover, it's a really bad spot. It's like just bad timing every time. But for everything that you just said, I agree with, and I feel like, you know, I've brought it up week after week on this show that I was very skeptical of the way Auburn was running their offense. I never played D1 college football. I never played college football because I was an idiot, and that's another story. But I played high school, and I know that if my coach came in with a offensive system that Hugh Freeze tried to run this year, I'm pretty sure that the locker room would be kind of 1 foot out the door from week one, just on the whole offensive philosophy, right? You add in this, you know, like you said, a player elected captain because he challenged the head coach's authority. It's a recipe to lose the locker room that was already, you know, on the brink. And so I can't take Auburn here as much as I look at the turnover problems with Mizzou. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm with you. I'm sitting here sort of talking through it. Yeah, give me Mizzou 24-10.
Mizzou's pass rush is absolutely insane too.
Yeah,
I think that's going to ultimately game wreck whatever quarterback Hugh decides to roll out there.
I like Mizzou. Their turnovers just give me so much pause.
Yeah, but you got to have the proper defensive scheme to get those. I mean, and I don't like some of the matchups on the other end that Auburn's going to have against Missouri.
Right.
Like, Mike, what do you got?
No, I'm with you with the pass rush. It's fantastic. Damon Wilson is an absolute beast. You know, on the
Zion
defense.
Young too.
Oh yeah, on the defensive line, absolutely agree. Those guys are tough. You know, Ahmad Hardy's a really good running back. Bo Prabula is doing more than anyone expected. The question though is, last night Matt Rule failed his audition to be a Penn State head coach. How's Eli Drinkowitz going to do in his audition today? Is my question. Because Matt Rule fell flat on his face trying to be the Penn State coach. So we'll see if Eli Drinkowitz does a little better in his trying to keep their attention.
If this was like a year or two ago, it would have been so exciting for this exact situation because then Purdue would have had another year of COVID to go back to Penn State with Drankowitz for 1 year and correct
Right.
it. Oh my gosh, that would be freaking
That would have
some
been so
television
funny.
right there.
Yeah.
That'd have been some television, boys.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we're going to move into the blowouts that I have for today. First up, we got the number 1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes going into Wisconsin, 2-4. Fickle struggling this season, and it's not going to get no better today. It's not going to get no better today from my man Fick. What do you got, guys?
I mean, Ohio State can name its score here.
Yeah.
They can score as many points as they want to. Last week, Wisconsin turned the ball over inside their own 30-yard line like 3 times in the first quarter. So now they're playing, that was against an Iowa defense that's pretty good, but this is against an Ohio State defense that's historically good.
Do they have any centers that are healthy? Because they haven't had a center healthy since they came down to Tuscaloosa.
No, I mean,
That's not good. I think Ohio State's probably going to hang at least a 50 piece on them.
I mean, it depends. How many points does Ohio State want to score?
Well, it's not even that. I think their defense is going to score at least 14 points because I think that Wisconsin's just going to turn the ball over.
Yes, I agree with you. I think Wisconsin's going to turn the ball over 3 to 5 times in this game. I mean, they don't have Hunter Simmons is such a disaster at quarterback. He has no idea what he's doing, and he just throws the ball without looking. He throws the ball without looking. He just doesn't check first. He just tosses it.
Yeah, they're going to be red and white, so I see him getting maybe a little bit more confused than he normally is, and probably this might be a Carson Beck 4 picker for him.
It really
Ohio State defense.
It really could be, and and I don't think Wisconsin's going to be able to run the ball because they haven't run the ball well, and Ohio State hasn't let anyone run the ball. So I've heard that Fickle and Ryan Day do not get along, so it'll be interesting to see how badly Ryan Day wants to put it on him here. Is he going to put up 50 points, or is he going to score 70 points? You know what I mean?
If he puts up 70, Fickle might get fired.
Fickle might get fired anyway.
I mean, I said before the start of the season, I thought Fickle was getting fired this season.
Well, yeah, but this might be the biggest audition for other coaching jobs that coaches will ever have today.
Oh yeah,
because there's going to be some open coaching jobs, possibly even more after this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of
Napier. I mean, Fickle. I mean,
Norvell.
Right.
I mean, if LSU loses to Vandy today,
we're going to talk about that. Yeah, I have that too.
Brian Kelly could be on that hot seat too.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, Ohio State can really name their score. I think that I think they're gonna go really big with the score. I think they're gonna sort of take their foot off the gas just shy of the 50 burger because they have somebody there is gonna have a soft spot for their former interim head coach. Yeah. I think it'll be like 48-7 will be the final score.
You think Wisconsin's going to score, huh? I don't.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that he's been pretty good on the first 2 drives of the games, the scripted drives. Then maybe he can get something.
They got shut out last week against Iowa. I think it happens again today. I'm predicting a shutout. I'm saying something like 50. Let's see. We'll say 55-0.
Maybe they give him a sympathy touchdown.
Maybe, but I don't know. Teams like shutouts too. They like doing that. Defensive coordinators especially love getting a shutout.
Hey, Mike, what do you think of my guy Keegan's comment in chat?
Oh, I gotta look. Oh, let me check. I gotta see.
All right. While he's looking at that, we're gonna move on to the next game. Michigan State at 3-3, rolling into the red hot, undefeated, third-ranked Indiana Hoosiers. Mike, obviously, who you got on this one, bud?
Well, Keegan's comment is PJ Fleck for president, and I say absolutely. So, I mean, we talked about naming their score. I mean, there's a reason this is a 4-touchdown spread. Sparty's terrible. They're reeling.
Mm-hmm.
Their defensive line is bad. They look lost in coverage. I mean, I never thought I'd see a Joe Rossi defense look so disorganized. And Aiden Childs is regressing.
I told y'all.
He's worse than he was last year.
Y'all thought I was crazy when I said I'd take Nico Iamaliava over Aiden Childs.
You were right, man. You were right by a mile.
With the right offensive coordinator.
Aiden Childs holds the ball too long, and he makes bad decisions, and he throws it into places he shouldn't. And yeah, I think the Hoosiers cover the spread today. Curt Cignetti has shown he likes running up the score. He will continue to throw it deep, even when he's up 30 or 40 points. So yeah, I think Indiana sends a message today. I think it's like 45-10 Hoosiers.
I'm almost right there with you. I think Sparty's bad. I think Jonathan Smith is quickly becoming the persona non grata in East Lansing.
Yeah.
That's
a job that could be open too.
I think that the best part of the Spartans team is Nick Marsh, and I think this offseason he should come join the other Marsh in the Big Ten and be a dynamic pass catching duo. He almost did last year, by the way. And I think Cignetti is going to, like you said, make a statement. I'm almost there with you on the score. I've got it written down 42-13 Indiana. I just think that you said Michigan State was rolling Indiana. I feel like they're rolling in with all the confidence of a rabbit into a lion's den. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on this one. I think it's going to be a little bit higher than what this spread is saying. Give me Indiana 55, Michigan State 6.
Okay. Hey, Miami lost. Are you gentlemen ready to tell your kids about number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers? They're going to be number 2 in the country probably after this weekend. That's bananas.
With the Miami loss, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
wild.
I'm not.
It's wild.
It is. Moving on to the number 22 ranked Memphis Tigers. I don't even know if I want to tell anybody about that. Versus 2-4 UAB. As I was just informed in the green room, UAB has a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you guys' thoughts on this one?
I mean, I think it's a feel good story for the debut of Chris Mortensen's son as the head coach at UAB. I think that's really cool. I don't think it's going to be a necessarily great day for him beyond the fact that it's his debut. I think it could get pretty ugly. The spread is probably where it should be. Yeah, I'll go with the spread here. I'm going to say it's going to be 31-10.
Yeah, I mean, UAB's a mess. I mean, Trent Dilfer destroyed that program. Absolutely destroyed it. Memphis has that FedEx money. They're playing hot right now. I think this is a big. I think this is a big number in Memphis's favor. Something like 41-10.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna take somewhere in the 40s. Give me Memphis 45, UAB 13. I don't see this being a game at all. No. I think maybe they might get consolation scores, but
well, I mean, I was thinking we've seen it already this season where like teams sort of rally around the interim guy. And
right.
I was thinking that maybe they'll have a little bit of that, not enough to make it a close game by any means, but
Maybe.
enough to show life.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right, moving right along to the recently handed their first loss of the season, number 8 ranked Oregon Ducks roll in to face the 3-3 Rutgers. What are they? The Silver Knights?
Scarlet Knights.
Scarlet Knights.
Yep.
Wasn't sure.
One of those Buckeye secondary colors.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would they be the Scarlet? They should be the Silver. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you guys' thoughts on this one?
I think this is going to be ugly. I think Oregon's going to want to make an example of them following the loss to Indiana. I think they're going to want to erase being embarrassed at home. And I don't think they should be embarrassed by that loss, but I think they're going to feel that way. And I think they're going to destroy Rutgers. I think they're going to go in there and they're going to roll 43-7 over Rutgers.
Rutgers offense depends on Ethan Kaliakmanis having enough time in the pocket to throw YOLO shots downfield 30, 40 yards. That's their wheelhouse. That's what they like to do. They like to throw it deep repeatedly. And against an Oregon D line that got embarrassed last week, I think you see Mateo Uiagalelei and Tuioti. I think they come out this week and they make hay and they make Ethan's life miserable. So my only pause on this is that you've got the body clock thing for Oregon. But other than that, no, I think they roll. Rutgers scores points. They will score points. So I think it's something like Oregon 38, Rutgers 17.
And the reason I'm giving such a low score for Rutgers is not because I don't think they can score points. I don't think Oregon's going to let them have the ball that much.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I think Oregon's going to look to dominate every aspect, including time of possession.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I got Oregon rolling big in this one. Give me Oregon 40. Give me Oregon 44, Rutgers 20. Yeah, I like that. All right, moving on to 6:30. You got Washington State versus the number 18 Virginia Cavaliers. Spread is UVA 17.5. What do you guys got? Thoughts? Score predictions?
Virginia's quietly having a really nice year. I mean, that Clemson loss really spurred them, and now they're 5-1. They're ranked. You know, I will say Wazoo put up a little bit of a fight against Ole Miss, which I was impressed with. But I think Virginia rolls here. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's, like, I don't know, 42-16, something like that.
Yeah, I think that Washington State's a mess. I think that what we saw against Ole Miss was, that was them trying to put up a fight. But I don't think that's. I don't think we're going to see them consistently be able to do that. I think Virginia's really kind of rolling, and they're riding high off of the recent success. I think it'll be like 31-17 Virginia.
I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than what the spread indicates. I think that Washington State comes out hot early, riding off that high from last weekend. I think Virginia eventually gets over in a close one. Say 28-24. Moving right along to the American Conference nightcap. You have FAU versus South Florida. South Florida seems to be one of the top schools in Florida right now. Fellas, thoughts about this game?
The Bulls are rolling.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to roll on. I mean, I like this team. I thought their win over Florida was really gritty earlier in the year. And they're still in the hunt trying to make, that college football playoff.
I think they will.
So they got to keep winning. But they have the resume that if they keep winning, they're going to have a real good shot. So I think if you're a group of 5 team trying to make the playoff, you need style points.
Yep.
So I think you see them run the score up a little bit here. You know, maybe go something like, I don't know, 48-24.
Yeah, I mean, I've said since week 2 that I thought USF was going to be this year's Boise State. I think they will make the playoffs. I think this will be a fun trading blows, trading touchdowns early on, but I think that midway through the second quarter, third quarter, around there, USF's just going to overwhelm FAU and pull away from them. I think the final score will be something like 48-28.
Yeah, I think Bulls roll heavy in this one. I think they put up style points. Give me the Bulls 55, FAU 20. Now we got a Big 12 nightcap. The number 24 ranked Cincinnati Bearcats versus the 1-5 struggling Oklahoma State Cowboys. I think this one is a very interesting game. What are your guys' thoughts?
What does it say about Cincinnati that they're ranked at 5-1 and they're still only a 2.5 point favorite?
No, it's a typo.
That's it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that seems wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State is in shambles. You know, I was wondering if they would get
the 23.5 point favorite.
23.5. Okay, that makes more sense. They're in shambles, and they're a program that obviously is looking ahead to their next head coach, and their players are looking ahead to the portal or to the draft or whatever, or to So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think Cincinnati can probably score as many points as it wants to.
Yeah, I think that Oklahoma State is the real life perfect depiction of the words escaping me. They're a rudderless boat. This is what it looks like.
Yeah, they're
listless on the water.
They're what UCLA was before they fired Deshaun Foster and remembered how to play.
Yeah, they're going to need to borrow a paddle from you guys to get out of the water that they're in. I 37-3, Cincinnati. Let me ask you guys a question, because I had a conversation with someone else about this. I personally think that I'm not a huge Mike Gundy fan, but I felt like he had earned the right to at least finish the season.
Yeah,
and I feel like him being there for the rest of the season wouldn't have been any worse than what you are without him. What are your guys' thoughts on how they got rid of him like that?
I mean, after 22 years or whatever, to fire a guy mid-season felt ridiculous to me. Like he couldn't coach it out, and I mean, after everything he's done for the program, the most successful coach they ever had.
Yeah, I feel like they could have come to him and said, "Hey, after this year, we're going to move on. Go ahead and finish out this year."
Yeah.
Normally, I would be inclined to agree with you, but 'tis the season to just fire your damn head coach. So, I mean, no,
James Franklin for Oklahoma State.
No.
I guarantee you, at least one coach is getting fired after this weekend. At least one.
Yeah, his name's Luke Fickell.
Wait. Do you think? Okay, hold on. Assuming losses, who do you think gets fired quicker? Jonathan Smith or Luke Fickell?
Fickell by far.
No, I think Napier, because they published that article about him getting
fired this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably Billy Napier.
Especially when the athletic director. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Or Hugh Freeze, though, his athletic director said some interesting stuff too. But
over under 3.5 coaches being fired after this weekend, like from Division I Power 4 conference.
3.5?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll say under, but I think it's close.
Oh.
I think three
Assuming-
sounds
assuming
right.
from power four, assuming losses
Three
for
sounds right.
Right.
Yeah, if they all lose, yes, 3 for sure, sure.
Because
Especially
we got
if they get destroyed.
Because we got Napier, we got Norvell, we got Freeze, we got Bickle, we got Jonathan Smith, we got. I mean,
yeah,
man,
a lot of
You
guys.
can see as little as 3 and upwards of like 6.
Well, and hey, don't forget he's not going to get fired, okay? But if Sharon Moore loses today,
yeah, I don't think he's getting fired, but yeah,
he's not getting fired. But like,
I think
it starts
this
to
week
get
and next
iffy.
week are very important for him to win.
Yeah, Sharon Moore's got to win today for sure.
If Brian, okay, so now that we've brought it to it, now that we're here, we can talk about it. Number 10, LSU, Brian Kelly rolls into
It's another one.
Vanderbilt. Vandy is a 2.5-point favorite. Now we can talk about it. Let's get into it.
I'm on Vandy, man. I think it's another upset for Vandy. I think it's another notch on Pavia's belt. I'm a huge fan of Eli Stowers. Like, I like Pavia. I'm a fan of Stowers. And I, as we've said for multiple weeks, I think Clark Lee's a good coach. I think Vanderbilt pulls out like a 1 to 3 point upset here. Give me Vandy like on a 21-20 last minute score to win.
Okay, Mike, what do you got?
I mean, I'm with you. I was really impressed with. I watched a lot of that Vanderbilt Alabama game, and I thought Vandy showed a lot of guts in the trenches. You know, they were tougher up front than I expected. And Diego Pavia is such a, he's kind of like Haynes King. He's just a warrior out there, just doing whatever he can, run, pass, juke, whatever, to get it done for his team. And Brian Kelly, LSU's got a really good defense, but that offense is broken. It's broken.
Is Nussmeier
they can't
hurt?
block. They can't block for him.
Is Nussmeier hurt? I feel like there's like an injury that we're not being told about there.
That wouldn't surprise me. But the offensive line can't block for him, so that's probably how he got hurt. Because he is under duress all the time. So yeah, I think Vanderbilt is going to pull it out. I think it's like 24-20. Absolutely like low scoring slugfest, and Vandy controls time of possession and runs the ball and wins the game late.
There's a couple things that are going to go into this one from my end, but I'm going to give you a very interesting stat right here, which we here down in the SEC hate it, but this is the fact of the numbers. LSU has 201 wins at night and 59 losses. In the daytime, they have 21 wins and 22 losses and 3 ties. This team does not play well in the daytime, especially at noon games. They are historically unprepared for, especially when they go into noon games. And playing a Vanderbilt team, you're playing a Vanderbilt veteran team that cut its teeth on games like this. LSU is going to come in with all the cockiness in the world, and I think Diego Pop is going to come in and put his name back on the national stage of quarterbacks coming out this next season. LSU has a very good defense, but Vanderbilt has some serious weapons. And if their wide receivers are healthy and Stowers does his game, I think Vanderbilt handles this one very comfortably. So give me Vanderbilt in a 35, LSU 20.
And Whit Weeks, the guy that would be probably the best one on LSU's defense to be able to contain Pavia, is looking like he's not going to play.
Well, I would actually say Harold Perkins is probably the best one in that situation.
In pass rush, but I'm talking more like QB contain spy.
No, I'd want, and if it's open field tackling, I would want Harold Perkins over Whit Meeks.
Maybe.
Whit Meeks on the defense, yes, but in the open field, Harold Perkins is unmatched.
Is this game at Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Okay. If Vanderbilt wins this game, does a goalpost end up in the river again?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah. What? Hold on.
My initial thought was yes, but it's also a day game. It's not a night game, which is a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
worse.
Vandy's been waiting a long time for this.
I think it'll be worse. I think the party will start exactly then, and this will be the goalposts will eventually end up in the river.
Yeah,
I fully agree with that.
I'm with you.
Yeah, moving right along. This is another banger, guys. Number 5, undefeated Ole Miss rolls into Athens, Georgia. Number 9, 5-1. The Dogs. What do you guys got? Thoughts?
Give me Lane Kiffin in a statement upset. I'm not trying to hate on Georgia. I know you. I know you will. So I'll leave that to you. I've said it all year. I'm not a believer in Gunnar Stockton. I don't think he's that great of a guy of a quarterback. Not guy. Excuse me. He's probably a great guy. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I have my own issues with Lane Kiffin, but I think Lane Kiffin's hitting his stride. I think this is a year for Lane Kiffin to really show out and to sort of launch himself into that next tier of top tier head coach. Yeah, give me Ole Miss, I don't know if it's an upset. I mean, it's an upset because Georgia's favored, but I think Ole Miss is a better team.
Mike?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Georgia, the thing that's usually scary about them is the defensive line is usually so overwhelming that it's hard to compete. But I don't think Georgia has that kind of defensive line this year. And I'm with you. I don't like Gunnar Stockton at all. I'm not saying he's bad, but I don't think he's, going to win games for you. He's more of a game manager type. So if Ole Miss gets an early lead, which I think they're gonna, I think Lane Kiffin's going to roll. I think Ole Miss is going to get this win, and you're going to hear Lane Kiffin complain about actually he should be ranked number 2.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a massive game, as Eric brought up what Miss Saban said about the baby coaches between Lane and Kirby.
Yeah,
the battle
Lane
of baby
has
coaches.
never beat Kirby in a big game that mattered like this. This is one of the steps he needs to take. He's been about to beat Georgia on the scale of beating a big team in this moment in the season the last couple of years, and he has yet to do it. Georgia, in my opinion, I think Georgia is weak, but I don't think it's where you guys said. I think they're weak on the back end as far as their secondary, and I think they're weak on their offensive line. And I think those are two strengths that Ole Miss has as far as their receivers and as far as the pass rush that they're going to come after Gunnar Stockton with. I got Ole Miss winning. My cousin Lane in a huge statement win, 35, Georgia 28.
Does Lane Kiffin have a Lil Wayne or that type of person on the sideline for tonight's game?
No, not that I've heard of.
Okay. Either of you find it funny that the Georgia defensive line is struggling in both the college and the pros this year? Like Philadelphia's defensive line has not been good this year, and that everyone knows that's just Georgia's defensive line.
Well, that's because you got to keep players on the field. Jalen Carter, can't stay on the field whether it's injuries or him getting kicked out of a football game. So there's that, and as you know, Georgia players get pulled over all the time for speeding. So there's that. So, but moving on to what I consider the Blood Bowl of the year, as far as Alabama fans are concerned. I know everybody thinks our direct rivalries are those Barners down the street in Auburn, but I myself and a great number of our fan base consider this third Saturday in October to be the blood one.
Bigger than the
number
Iron
11, Tennessee. Yes.
Okay.
It just, to me, it is, because Tennessee is just absolutely. I'm going to get into it, but number 11 ranked Tennessee comes into my Alabama Crimson Tide, ranked number 6. What are you guys' thoughts?
I think if Tennessee is gonna win or have a chance to win, they need to be able to establish the run a little bit with Deshaun Bishop. Like they have to get that going. I don't think Joey Aguilar is as good as Ty Simpson. I don't think you're gonna go toe to toe throwing it as much as Alabama's probably gonna throw it and think you're gonna win. I think you need to run the ball, grind clock, shorten the game a little bit. If you're Tennessee, if you're gonna be able to hang in there with Alabama. Ty Simpson's playing at a really high level right now. He's spreading the ball around to different receivers. He looks like, could be very well be a Heisman finalist the way he's playing. So give me the Tide. I think it's going to be a good game, but ultimately I think Alabama's better. And I think it's something like Alabama 31, Tennessee 20.
Yeah, so okay. I want to preface this by saying I think Alabama's the better team. I think Alabama has a Tennessee problem. I think you look at last year what happened, and yeah, they were able to avenge their loss to Vanderbilt. I don't think they're able to do the same with Tennessee. I think Tennessee comes in, I think they attack the Alabama secondary, and they're going to be more successful than you're giving them credit for. And I do think that Tennessee is going to pull the upset. Also, I don't mean this as a slight towards Ty Simpson, but I had a pretty big argument with somebody the other day because they told me that Ty Simpson was a better quarterback than Dante Moore. I don't think he is. I think Dante Moore is still the best quarterback in the country in college football. And for that reason, I'm going to pick Tennessee for the upset 34-27.
Dante Moore's not playing in this game, though.
I understand that. But just to spite my friend that I had this long argument with,
right?
I'm picking Alabama and Ty Simpson to lose to Tennessee and the G5 quarterback they got at running the show there.
Lucian, that can't make you happy. What do you think?
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. This is a free country, and we encourage freedom of speech on this network. However, Tennessee comes in with a nationally ranked in passing, 7th at 317 yards. And, they have a very, very good rushing attack. They got 3 very, very good wide receivers, all having 400-plus yards per game. 13-plus yards a catch. They have a very good passing attack, a very serviceable tight end in Miles Kitselman, who's averaging just over 10 yards per catch. 3 very good running backs, all can get it done with at least 5 yards per carry on the ground. They have a very impressive offense. They have the number 1 sack defense in the nation. They lead the nation with 26 sacks. They can get after the quarterback. However, they are almost dead last when it comes to defending the pass. And when it comes to our passing attack, that is not where you want to be. Whereas our passing defense ranks 3rd overall in the nation to Tennessee's. They have not had to deal with the secondary that has the type of weapons that we have, also the interchangeable positions, and also the depth. We are almost 2 and 3 deep at every single corner position, and it's not like the corners are going to get tired because our coach rotates them. And if they're not playing well, as we saw last weekend, they'll get benched quickly, and we'll just put another guy out there, like we put a true freshman in there, and he balled out last weekend. Not to mention that true freshman is also 6'4", 200-plus pounds. So that also neutralizes the whole height thing that Tennessee is going to want to take advantage of with our corners. That's not going to happen.
Well, look, I tuned into one of your shows, I think, last week. And I'm going to say, I don't remember if it was you guys on the show or if it was the people in the chat, but whoever was saying that my guy Keon Sabb needs to be benched, you cursed your own secondary, and they're going to get torched this today by Tennessee.
Well, no, that was me, and I said that because I have the all-22 film, and he hasn't been playing. And if you watch my show, you said You should have heard why I said he deserves
I
to be
did.
benched.
I
Because
did.
the difference in his play from the last season to this season, he's not supposed to regress. He's supposed to progress, my friend. That was why I said he needs to be benched. It had nothing to do with him as a person or as a player. It's the fact that his performance has declined from what it was last season when he was playing football. That's why I said he needed to be benched.
I'm just saying. I think your loss of faith in Keon Sabb has cursed your secondary.
It's not a loss of faith. It's a constant competition. We have that much competition in the room. So if you're not going to be servable, it's the next man up. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just the fact that we have other people that can make plays. So if you're not out there making plays, you got to give someone else an opportunity. I did not curse my secondary in any way, shape, or form, brother, man. And you have to remember the Vols beat us last year.
I know.
And these players understand the gravity of what this win means to the state of Alabama. This is a massive weekend, and I think the Tide are going to deliver, and the Tide are going to deliver another message to the nation today. That
who do you guys got next week?
South Carolina. Then we got LSU and then Oklahoma.
Okay. I was asking because I wasn't sure if there was any chance of you guys looking ahead to the next opponent, but I don't think there is if it's South Carolina.
No, we don't. These guys have a very good mentality as far as keeping the concentration because it's the SEC. Any team could beat anybody on a whim, minus Kentucky. I mean, if you have a serviceable offense and a decent defense, and you could go out there and perform at a level, and another team could just not be on their night, and you can go out and get beat from the top 2/3 of the conference. Now, there are some bottom of the barrel teams that I say that you're not going to run into that, but everybody pretty much on this screen right here, I mean, it's anybody's game. It's just a matter of what team shows up. For all we know, Lane could lay an egg today, and Georgia could completely blow the doors off them, or Brian Kelly could somehow perform some witch doctor dance and go into Vanderbilt and just absolutely destroy them. It's a possibility. I don't think either of those things are going to happen.
I'll have to adopt another Cajun accent to do that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends that like LSU, and I don't know if I've heard more fire Brian Kelly posts or chants or more fire Billy Napier chants from the Florida ones. It is a very, very close battle right now, but I think both of those fan bases really want to change as far as a head coach. And
are college teams allowed to trade their head coaches? I know they can't trade players, but can they trade coaches?
I don't know if it's a trade.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be a trade. I think I want to say that there was something that happened where coaching staffs got swapped.
Wait, what? I was joking.
No, I think that there was a situation a couple years. I don't know if it was a Power 5 team, but I think there was a situation where a head coach was going to leave for a university, and he took his whole entire coaching staff, and they in turn hired the old coaching staff.
Well, maybe LSU and Florida should get together and revisit this topic, just for a fresh start for both teams.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea for both of them. Now, we have an interesting matchup this evening in the number 20 USC Trojans versus the number 13 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Mike, we're going to start with the team that you love the most.
I'll be honest, I don't really like either of these programs, but I've been really impressed with USC this year. I mean, Jaden Mayava's playing at a high level. Mekhi Lemon is, after Jeremiah Smith, is as good as any other receiver in the country. He's just fantastic. Wayman Jordan's been amazing, but even when he was out last week, King Miller went off, who's a walk-on, went off and had a big day.
That was bullshit. That was bullshit. If a player is listed as out then he should not be able to suit up mid-game and play the game and then only get a slap on the wrist for a $5,000 fine.
No, you're right. You're right. That was not cool. That should not have been allowed.
That was about that's about as not cool as Kirby's non-timeout that he called last weekend, boys.
Right.
I don't know if you guys saw the replay of that during the Georgia Auburn game. Kirby ran down the sideline going like this. And then they gave him the timeout. Then he plagued and pleaded that he wasn't calling timeout. And I'm like,
but Lucian, if Michigan or Alabama listed a player as out on the injury report and then had him suit up mid-game and go into the game and play?
First of all, that player would probably be arrested, especially if he was in an Alabama uniform on the road. He'd have been arrested. They'd have kicked him out of the game. They probably would have fined the university and the coach and the player.
Right.
But the fact I'm not really sure how they let that go. I was looking up the rules on that. I'm like, is there any situation that they could get cleared if they were stated that they were out? And I didn't find any evidence to the contrary. So that may come back to get them in the end. But yeah.
Anyway, I think this is a fantastic QB battle between Jaden Mayava and CJ Carr, who are two of the best quarterbacks in the country, both playing phenomenal ball. Obviously Notre Dame has Jeremiah Love, who's a great running back, and that defense has kind of gotten better and better as the year has progressed. But I like USC here. I know they're banged up, and that's why Notre Dame's favored as much as they are. But I just think Mayava's playing at such a high level, and I think that Lincoln Riley has turned the corner and made better coaching decisions this year. He's run the ball a little more than he ever used to because he understands that you have to run the ball sometimes to win games. And I think that ability to have balance is going to give USC a chance to pull off the upset today. I think it comes down to who has the ball last, but I'm taking SC 31-28.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and it has nothing. Well, I won't say it has nothing to do with Mayava. I think Mayava's good, but I mean, I said on this show that I thought I'm a huge fan of Mekhi Lemon, and having Jacoby Lane back only opens things up for Lemon even more.
Yep.
I just think that USC is going to just pull ahead of Notre Dame, and the Notre Dame's not going to be able to pull them back. It really comes down to their passing attack. They've got those two. They've got the tight end. His name's escaping me, but they showed that they were 3 deep. As much BS as it was to have that running back play, they showed they were 3 deep at the running back position, 3 deep or better at pass catchers with a very competent and good. I'm not trying to hate on Mayava. I just think a lot of his success is because of what's around him.
Oh, yeah. He has great guys to throw to. He's got Lane and Lemon and Lake McCree at tight end and all those guys. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to take anything away from Mayava. I think he's good. I don't think he's Dante Moore, but I think he's good.
Yeah.
But I love his weapons around him, and I don't think Notre Dame's going to be able to handle it. So yeah, give me USC. I think it'll still be a close win because it is in South Bend, but I think it'll be 36-31 in a high-scoring game for USC. And I just want to say, listen, I've been very critical of Lincoln Riley. I think we're watching him evolve from offensive coordinator that's out of his depth at head coach into a true head coach this season.
I'm going to give my quick pick, and then we're going to switch to a different side because I know my man E's got to go. I'm going to give him an opportunity to talk about his Wolverines real quick after I do this. USC is playing good football right now. I'm not bought into the hype in Notre Dame going up against the talent that USC has. They're good on defense. I think it's a great matchup between Notre Dame's rushing game versus USC's defensive line and linebackers. I have USC winning this one 28-24. Before we get into this last game, we're going to let Eric talk about this game.
So the Michigan coaching staff has a lot to fix from last week, but I think that everything everything that was wrong with last week's game is fixable. I just hope to see them do it. The tackling has to get better. The gap assignments need to get better. The being able to disguise coverages and not get out leveraged when trying to do that. Wink has got to be better. I'm one of the biggest Wink Martindale supporters you'll find. Last week was not acceptable. I understand there were mitigating factors, travel, the fatigue is still not acceptable to go out there and have that showing on defense. And I'm looking to Wink Martindale to really come in and have fixed those problems and have the defense playing on point today. I think they will. I think you're going to have a big game by Jayshon Barham. I think you're going to have a big game by Ernest Hausman, Jimmy Rolder, the other linebackers. And our secondary needs to step up. I want to remind everybody, Michigan is the youngest team in the Big Ten because of the rebuild that they're having to do, because how bare the cupboard was that people don't seem to realize. They think Sharon took over a national championship team. No, he had a team that didn't have a lot of depth that was propped up by a lot of first and second round picks last year. We're the youngest team in the Big Ten. There's a lot of mistakes, but that needs to be coached up. That needs to be coached out. And Sharon Moore for this game this week, he's got to understand he's a head coach. He's not an offensive coordinator anymore. You brought in Bryce Underwood for a reason. You brought in Chip Lindsey for a reason with Bryce. You need to let them do their job. Do what you brought them in for. Take a step back. Let Chip Lindsey run his offense. And instead, focus your attention to your bread and butter, where you played on the offensive line at Oklahoma, where you coached Joe Moore award-winning offensive lines. Fix the problems with the offensive line. We need to live in 12 personnel, even 21 personnel once Justice Haynes comes back, which unfortunately he's out today, I think. So we need to live in that personnel, though. We need to have that extra blocker in there to give Bryce more time to help this offensive line. We need to be able to open up more running lanes, let Marsh and McCulley do what they do on the outside. But everything that needs to be fixed is fixable from week to week. I like Washington. I like DeMond Williams. I think he's really good. They've got Boston. They've got Coleman. They've got some offensive weapons, and they've got Mike, who's the cornerback?
Jacario Davis.
Thank you. I think they're really good. I think as a team, Washington's a year away from being what truly dangerous. It's going to be a close game just because of the big playability by DeMond Williams. But I do think Michigan's defense is going to be able to pull it out. It will be a close win. I'm going to go 27-24 Michigan. But this is a prove it game for Sharon Moore.
Great. Mike?
Yeah, I just when I look at this game, I didn't realize that Justice Haynes wasn't playing.
And to that, I haven't been able to confirm it, but I just saw a thing sent to me that Marlon Klein may not be
playing also. Okay.
But we do have Hogan Hansen back. So
okay. Right on. Well,
trade off there.
Here's the thing about Washington. DeMond Williams, totally electric. You said your linebackers are going to have a big day. They better. Because you got to be able to contain him in the pocket or he'll tear you apart. Jonah Coleman's a great running back. Denzel Boston is a great receiver. And Roebuck, that freshman receiver, also looks really good, who emerged last week. But Washington still isn't any good on the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
They are not good on the defensive line. They're average on the offensive line. I think the difference in this game is that Michigan controls the line of scrimmage and finds a way to win. A close one, though. Yep. I think it's close. I think it's ugly. I'm thinking something like 24-17 or 24-16, I'll say, Michigan.
Justice Haynes not playing kind of changes things a little bit for me. I had Michigan.
Still got Jordan Marshall. Jordan Marshall's the running back you saw firsthand up front last year.
Yeah, I know. I know, but I'm saying as far as yeah, that's gonna change a little bit. I'm gonna have to take Washington, but it's gonna be a field goal. Washington by field goal.
Yeah, I can't be mad at it. I mean, with what we showed last week, we've got to prove it.
All
Absolutely.
right. Bouncing back to
with that though, Lucian, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I got to go take care of some stuff before my watch along later. But it was fun this morning, guys. I look forward to chatting about the games with you. And shout out to everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
All right, brother, man.
Good luck, Eric.
Go Blue.
Go Big Blue.
All right.
All right. Mike, we'll get into this last one, then we'll get everybody out of here. Where's this BYU graphic? There it is right there. All right. This last game up is going to be a doozy. I know we've both been big fans of both of these teams. Number 23, 5-1 Utah Utes, favored at 3.5, roll into BYU, undefeated, 15th ranked. What are your thoughts, brother man?
You know, I think that Utah they got exposed against Texas Tech when their quarterback was hurt. But other than that, you know, he was playing hurt. Other than that, they've been really solid. I think they're improving. Kyle Whittingham teams always get better as the season goes along. BYU's good, but they have a freshman quarterback and in Bear Bachmeier. And they also have been kind of played a lot of paper tigers. They haven't played a tough schedule to this point, whereas Utah is much more tested and has played much stronger competition. So I think this will be a good game. It almost always is. I love the Holy War, one of my favorite rivalries. But I think the experience edge for Devin Dampier over Bear Bachmeier is the difference. I have Bear Bachmeier turning the ball over a couple times against this stout Utah defense. And I think that Utah grits out a win. And I'm going to say Utah 27, BYU 24.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. BYU's having an absolutely extraordinary season, but to me, it's you got to play opponents, and that's something I've always stood on is a strength of schedule. And the way Utah has been able to bounce back, I mean, they're top in the nation, third down conversion at 60%, eighth in rushing yards, 248 yards per game. They're averaging 460 yards in offense. I just think they have a little too much for what BYU has coming on, even though BYU does have the 13th overall best defense. I just think Utah is the more seasoned team. And I think at this point in the season, they're more hungry and they're a little bit more willing to fight and take it to BYU. And I think that's what ultimately prevails in the game. I have Utah winning this game 38-27.
All right. So you think a lot of points. That'll be wild.
I think it's going to be – I think both these teams – it's going to be an exciting start. And I think both defenses will check in eventually. But I think there's some points to be scored at the beginning part of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun one. I always cheer for Utah in the Holy War.
Absolutely.
I enjoy that. I have a buddy who went to Utah who is no longer with us, so I always think of him when this game is played. And, yeah, I'm excited. Lucian, it's a big day of football. And you know what the best part is?
You can just watch it and don't have to worry about nothing.
Yep, the Gophers already won, so I can sit back and just really enjoy myself today. I'm pumped.
I'm actually kind of glad that I get to watch, the noon games and then the 3:30 games. I don't get to watch the night games, obviously, but there's not too many good night games on that I really want to watch, other than maybe this BYU game. But I'm still going to have that on the tablet. But you already know. We got business tonight in T-Town. It's going to be a big one for Kalen DeBoer. We got a chance to knock off our fourth-ranked team in as many weeks That's not easy to do.
No.
And I think it's going to put the nation on notice, especially if Oklahoma wins today and stays ranked. We're going to have we're only going to have 2 games the rest of the season that aren't going to be ranked.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and that's going to be Auburn and then our cupcake. But everybody else, LSU is ranked at this point. So
right. Yeah, well, good luck today. I wish you the best against Tennessee. I know they are an obnoxious fan base.
And that's the other thing. Like, Bama fans are crazy. I know that, but they're not Tennessee fans. Tennessee fans are just
bad,
miserably they're just delusional.
Yeah,
and they do have a good team. I'm not taking anything away from them, and I kind of feel bad for the players that they have to be represented by fans like that, because they do have some truly, truly amazing players. They have, in my opinion, probably one of the best defensive lines in football. 3 senior defensive tackles, all with at least 3.5 sacks on the season. That's why they're leading the nation in sacks. But I just think with us, that where you could pass rush us more would be the outside on our tackles. But the fact that their strength of their pass rush comes from the interior defensive line, they're going up against our strength and our guards and our center on our offensive line. And I think that's going to be a win for us. I think that's what ultimately wins us this game, is neutralizing Tennessee's pass rush. Because if they can't pass rush Ty Simpson's going to carve them like turkey dinner.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely
they don't have an elite secondary.
Right.
But I'm excited. It's 11:30. We ran its time. Actually, time perfect. Get everybody out of here. Mike, congratulations on the massive win. I hope that the Gophers did enough to hopefully crack the top 25 rankings.
We should at least get some votes. I think we should at least get some votes, and then if we win in Iowa City next week, I think we'll have to be ranked.
Exactly. So, again, congratulations on the win. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. I'm Lucian Graves, the Final Whistle Network. This is Mike. Mike, take us out with the phrase.
Sky Yuma, row the boat, go Gophers.
Yeah, his voice is done because he was yelling at that game last night. I'm Lucian Graves. Roll dadgum tide, ladies and gentlemen.